I love holiday cards. As a kid, I would spend hours looking at the garland of cards that draped my grandma's fireplace. It was fascinating to see who sent which cards. They were gilded and glittered gifts of acknowledgement. I painted my winter card this year. It's from a set of photos I took last year. The whole thing happened organically. I had piled up gift bags on a table in my workspace. Jeff's contribution was an empty beer can. The scene made sense to me, so I shot a couple of photos. I call the painting Loot. It's a pun. You see, I'm not a fan of the consumerist aspects of this holiday. Nor am I a follower of faith or a believer in ghostly sky parents or authoritarian ideologies. And I happen to think that fat man who knows when I'm sleeping and awake is not only a creep, he's a fucking stalker. Many years ago, Jeff and I lived in a loft in downtown Los Angeles. We lived in the basement of a historic building that had once been a church. At that time, I was working at a commercial printing company as a production artist. I was a token weirdo in the art department, which worked one of two ways. Either you loved me or you hated me. Sergio, one of the production managers, had it in for me. He was convinced I was either on drugs because of how I dressed or that I worshipped Satan because I lived in the basement of an old church. One afternoon, my friend Peter from the typesetting department found a doll head in the street and gave it to me. I washed it off and stuck it to my drafting table with paste-up wax. This really bothered Sergio. He thought it was voodoo. The art department used a magnet board to track job packets through the production process. On a particular Friday, Sergio was at the magnet board talking shit, as usual, when the board fell from the wall. It made a huge clatter when it hit the ground and the magnets scattered everywhere. I started to laugh. Sergio turned around and looked at me. I crooked my bewitching finger at him and said, "Friday the 13th!" Because it was. He gathered up the magnets and put the board back on the wall and left the department in a big hurry. A few minutes later, my boss came in to tell me that Sergio had to go home for the day because he thought I put a hex on him. We both had a good laugh. I have a wicked sense of humor, but I'm not evil. There was a time before I had language. The world around me was filled with magic and wonder. A flower was a marvel. Dust particles dancing in the golden afternoon light mesmerized. My mother could turn me into a barefoot, flower-eating rhino by placing a rose thorn on the tip of my nose. Consciousness was complete immersion in the present. A funny thing happened on my way to atheism. Well-meaning people assume I lost my humanity along with my memory of all that I have studied and experienced. It is through my searching and learning and curiosity about religion, philosophy, and spirituality that I came back home, to a place of wonder and magic without the walls of dogma. Dogma is for bullies. Besides, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? There is a joy in the presence of art making that defies vocabulary. As my easel sits in liminal space, I am present and selfless. A good scout, I'm always prepared to do the work, to dig, to struggle, explore, and play. There is no attachment to technical or aesthetic perfection. The only outcome is my transformation through the act of art making. It is the greatest of all gifts.